Hello, beauties. Today we're tackling one of the most iconic haircuts ever, the bob. We love it, we fear it, and let's be honest, we have all seen a bob go very, very wrong, and that is because most people assume that any bob will do the trick, while in reality, it can either make your face pop or highlight all the features you don't want it to. I have been behind the chair for 18 years, and in this video, I'm walking you through 5 most popular bob haircuts so you know exactly which one is the perfect match for your face shape. Are you ready? Let's go. First up, we have the bob that started it all, the classic bob. This one has been around forever, and trust me, it is not going anywhere anytime soon. It is clean, it's elegant, simple to wear, and best of all, it works for almost every single face shape with just a few tweaks depending on your shape. So the classic bob is cut evenly all the way around with little to no angle from back to front. And you can see in this example here of a mannequin I've cut myself to show you a full detailed view. It usually has longer layers to create some movement while still maintaining the natural thickness of your hair, and it can land anywhere from right at the chin to below, and the cut is fully off of the shoulders. Bobs, I think, are probably my most favorite haircut to cut. I have had many bobs put on my schedule from the front desk when I was still accepting new clients, so I am very excited about today's video because I just love bobs. The part with a bob where you need to be intentional is with the length. So if your face shape is round, square, or pear-shaped, or you tend to hold more weight in your face, you might want to avoid having your bob land right at the jawline. While I think this still can be a great look, it can though give the appearance of more width through this area, or just bring more attention to the jaw maybe than you want. And that is because the eye is naturally drawn down to where the hair ends, and it makes this area look a little bit more pronounced. Now, that doesn't mean it's completely off limits, but if it is an area of concern, it's gonna be something that you'll likely want to skip. So what you can do instead is just keep the length a little down past the jawline. So this is going to draw the eye down a little bit more, creates a softer and more balanced look to this area. If you have an oval, heart, diamond, or oblong face, the classic bob is a winner. You really only have one area of concern that you might want to keep in mind, which would be your lower third. So if your lower third is longer, which your lower third is the distance from the bottom of your nose to the bottom of your chin, and this area bothers you, you may still want that length to drop below your chin so the bob doesn't pull unnecessary focus to that area. In heart and diamond shapes where you have more narrowness in your chin, opting to extend the length even just slightly can draw attention away from the chin, and a bit of curls will help to add the illusion of a little bit more width to this narrow area. Now, however, if you love this feature in your face and you want to bring all the attention to it, bobs landing right at that jaw will make this feature shine even more. So it's all about what you like and you don't like. Now, if you're unsure where to part your hair, and I have seen this confusion so many times, here is the thing. The trick, like always, is determining which features you want to play up and which features you want to play down. So a side part, for example, is going to work wonders if you're trying to enhance the strong angles you have or bring focus into your jawline. It instantly opens up your face and it gives you more dimension, and a side part is always going to be the best option if you want to show off those cheekbones while playing up your jawline. Now, a middle or off center part works great if you want to dial down the width in your face or minimize, and for square shapes specifically, a middle part is going to downplay the angles of your jaw if that's a feature you don't love. If you like a middle part though, but you still want to add a little bit of edge to it, just tuck one side behind the ear. This is instantly going to add those angles that you want to see in your face shape, bringing a little bit more focus to your jaw and your cheekbone, so that way you get a little bit more movement rather than if you leave it untucked. Styling the classic bob is as versatile as the cut itself. You can wear it straight, you can wear it curled for a little extra bounce, or just play off of your natural hair texture. And because bobs are shorter, your style is going to last much longer since you don't have that extra length/weight pulling your style down. So when it comes to styling, this cut will work pretty much with anything that you throw at it. When it comes to products, you are going to want to use styling products based on your hair type and your desired look. So if you want a smooth, polished finish, you're gonna want to use a round brush or a standard oval blowout brush when blow drying your hair. And if you love some texture, a 1-inch curling iron will give you tighter, more defined curls, while a larger barrel is gonna give you a little bit more beautiful, soft, lived-in waves. And if you are in need of any styling product suggestions, I will link some of my favorites in the description below so you can maybe find something new if you're feeling like what you have isn't working for you right now. Next up, the French bob. This one is basically Paris in a haircut. The big difference here from the classic bob is that the French bob typically always has bangs, though not fully required. It sits right at the chin or above it, and it thrives on lots of texture and movement. You can opt to extend the length some, but to keep in line with the theme of a French bob, bangs of some sort and texture is key. If you have gotten an oval face, this is your moment. French bobs do very well for you. Oval face shapes already have the most balanced proportions, closest to what is known as the golden ratio. So a French bob just enhances that symmetry that you already have going on. If that term is new to you, the golden ratio, it is basically nature's formula for perfect balance. Obviously, no one face shape is perfectly balanced, nor is one shape better than the other. But because oval shapes are the closest to the golden ratio of 1.618 to 1, this is why they are deemed as ideal. So oval shapes, the length is typically 1.5 times longer than it is wide, so it's closest to that 1.6. So it's pleasing to the eye, so that's why it's said that the oval is the most ideal. However, rules, guidelines, and ratios were meant to be broken, and your most likely non-golden ratio face only adds to your own beauty that makes you you. The goal with cuts is creating balance within your own shape while enhancing or minimizing certain features. It is about making a cut work for your individual needs. French bobs are also a fantastic choice for faces longer than oval. Because it's cut right at the chin or above it, it creates this horizontal line here that draws the eye up, giving the illusion of less length. So it gives the appearance of more width to balance out your shape some. So oblongs, if you want to minimize your length, this specific bob is a great choice. And if you're not sure of your exact face shape, I have an entire playlist that is all about face shapes that I will link in the description below if you want to check them out. For diamond and heart shapes, the layers and textures of the French bob help balance out the narrowness of your chin. And with the texture this cut often has, it adds width where you need it the most. The bangs also draw the eye slightly up, bringing focus to this area as well, so it creates movement through your face and not to just one set area. While this cut is shorter maybe than what's ideal for round and square shapes, it can still work. So round shapes, this cut is going to enhance the soft features in your face, but in my opinion, the cut, it's very feminine. So while it may enhance the width or the roundness a touch more, it still creates this very dainty, feminine, romantic look that I think should just be appreciated, honestly. And opting to cut the bangs a bit shorter will help give the illusion of a little bit more length in your shape than if left longer. So that just comes down to personal preference. But if you're worried about this cut, like shortening your face, you might want to opt for a shorter bang or at least like an A-frame where you have a little bit of opening in the middle. So it's still very customizable. And also bangs in this cut work great for any of you who for whatever reason don't like your top third, which is the distance from your hairline to right in between your brows, because bangs are gonna cover this area. And of course you can always add a bang to any of the bobs that we are talking about today. In square shapes, the texture and waves of the cut soften the striking features often found in your jawline. So they give good balance between the softness and the boldness. Opting to have the length fall just resting at your jaw will cover the most bold part if you want to reduce any width that you may not prefer to see in your shape. Okay, styling time. Because this cut was meant to look lived in, the French bob loves embracing your hair's natural texture and that soft tousled movement. It can also, remember, be worn straight as well for like a roaring 20s feel, but I would say that it's often seen more with texture and waves over straight. I highly recommend that you reach for products like mousse, lightweight texture sprays, or styling paste and creams. You don't want anything too heavy. You want light, airy movement, separation, and a little bit of that like messy on purpose kind of look. If your hair is naturally straight, like mine, this cut will require the use of a flat or curling iron though to create some of the curls and texture to get that French bob chic vibe. I think of all of the bobs, I find the French bob most intimidating. I would love to be daring one day and go for this cut on myself. It's my favorite one, I think, to look at and see on other people, but I'm too nervous to embrace it myself. I don't know if you guys feel like that or if I am alone in that thought, but I would love to hear which of these bobs is maybe one you've had yourself or you can see yourself getting. So be sure to share in the comments below. This is hands down the go-to cut if you love the idea of a bob, but you aren't quite ready to say goodbye to your length. It sits right at the shoulders or just kisses the collarbone, and it can be left a little longer, which makes it super versatile. And big bonus, the lob is really low maintenance. It is a dream cut for wider face shapes like round, square, and pear, and that is because the extra length helps balance out your facial width by slimming the sides of your face, instantly elongating your overall look. I think for these shapes, a lob is perhaps a better option compared to the classic bob, especially if you're concerned about a shorter haircut length creating the appearance of a little more width in your shape. If you're a fan of the middle part, this cut can even help mimic more of an oval face shape, which, like I mentioned earlier, is the golden ratio. And that extra length that a lob has compared to the classic bob just increases that illusion of the oval shape. You can also spice things up with side sweeping bangs, which are perfect for round and pear shapes as they cut through the roundness and add more angles. And on square face shapes, side parts actually highlight your bold jawline while still softening it just enough to keep everything in harmony. If you have finer, thin hair, having the ends cut a bit more blunt where they're straight across as much as possible, it is ideal for fine hair types as it makes the hair look more full on the ends. Overall though, both lobs and classic bobs are going to be perfect cuts for those of you with fine, thin hair. Diamond, hearts, and oval and oblong shapes, lobs work amazing on you as well. Really, the most perfect thing about this cut is that it's truly one of the most versatile cuts for all shapes. It's not too long, it's not too short. While you still have plenty of styling options, you can't go wrong with it. When it comes to where you part your hair, you just want to remember what features it is that you want to enhance or minimize. And if you want to hear more about where to part your hair based off of your prominent features, I will link a video below in the description that goes more in depth on that exact topic, as well as in the end card that you'll see at the end of this video. Styling for lob haircuts, it's pretty simple. Like with a classic bob, this can be worn straight or it can be worn with waves or texture. You're gonna wanna use smoothing products in a large round or large blowout brush when styling your hair for a more straight look, and you wanna use a styling mousse or a blowout cream with a curling or flat iron for when you want to create waves through your hair. You cannot go wrong with either option, and both ways look great to wear this cut. For the last part of the bob family, the angled bob and the asymmetrical bob. I'm gonna break these down in one category because technically they're still bobs, and they really just add a little extra kick to the ones we've already covered. And you can add this twist to a French bob, but fair warning, I think that it takes away from the Parisian vibe. So we're really just going to, in this case, apply it to the classic bob and the lob. So an angled bob is where you have a stack in the back that gets this noticeable angle going from short in the back to longer in the front. The 2010s were peak angled bob era when everyone from Victoria Beckham to Rihanna were owning it. There was no greater compliment to me as a millennial than somebody telling me, hey, you look like Victoria Beckham with your hair. And I was like, thank you, I know, so great. Now you don't have to go for that full dramatic sharp angle unless you want to. You can totally go for a softer version where it's just slightly longer in the front, nothing too extreme. But let me tell you why this haircut is genius. So if your hair grows at lightning speed, and especially if the back always seems to grow faster, having it shorter in the back and a little longer in the front keeps your profile view looking nice and lifted instead of dragged down. When the back becomes longer than the front, it disrupts the movement we want from a profile view, and the cut loses the look of a bob that is so loved. And it can also make your side and front sections look more thin because the focus is being brought to the back. And the angled bob works great for both classic or lob styles. And lastly, the asymmetrical bob, which is characterized by one side being cut shorter than the other. It is modern, always eye-catching, and it just instantly adds interest to any cut. It works best at off the shoulder lengths or even shorter because that's when the asymmetry really pops and looks intentional. Actually, it's a great option in general if you constantly are tucking the hair behind your ear. When I wear a bob, I always tuck mine all the time. I cut it shorter on the side that I tuck, and I think it proves that you don't need extreme asymmetry for a striking look. As you can see here, even a subtle version gives my bob a fresh twist while not looking extreme. And after talking about all these bobs, I'm real tempted to cut my hair again into a bob. You can do an asymmetrical lob too, but it needs to be very soft. If one side is like way too short and the other is too long, it just sort of starts to look awkward. But if either of these looks is something you want to add to your classic bob or lob, you'll still want to keep how long or short you leave it according to your shape and features, but I really do think that they're both quite versatile options for most shapes. And that is it, guys. The 5 most popular bob haircuts broken down for you. Drop a heart emoji in the comments if you enjoyed, and if you want to hear more about face shapes and features, you can check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.